The bye week is now in the rear-view mirror, but Special Edition is on your television screens again as we welcome you in to the Star in Frisco with Isaiah Stanback, Barry Church, Nate Newton. I'm Kyle Yeomans. Glad you're with us as the Cowboys now move the season along. Now we get more NFL action coming up on Sunday, week 8 of the NFL season. And Barry, I'll start with you. With the bye week being some sort of a reset button for this Cowboys team at 4-2 overall, what's the number one thing you want to see improved on this Cowboys roster going into the rest of the season?
Well, of course, I'm going to go on the defensive side of the football, and I'm going to have to say the rushing game. You know, they did a great job of kind of stalling out Austin Eckler and the Chargers the last time they were on the football field. If they can make that more consistent going out, I think the sky's the limit for that defense.
Well, speaking of rushing, I'm going to go on to the other side of the ball and say that I look forward to them rushing the ball more consistently. It's not to say that they haven't rushed the ball enough. It's just I want to see Tony Pollard really get his mojo. And I think that right now, you know, there's this hot and cold. You know, he doesn't have anything that he can lay his head on. And I think teams right now really honestly don't fear the running game.
And to add on to that, Isaiah, I mean the offensive line has to be very healthy. They have had 2 weeks playing with one another. They've had another off week to get healed up. We need for this offensive line to be healed and ready to go to give Tony Pollard the opportunities.
Yeah, Mike McCarthy certainly going to try and open things up from a play calling standpoint. Let's hear from the head coach after the bye week and now trying to move into the rest of the season and continue to make this team better as the year goes along.
I think the first thing is the rest and recovery, you know, their ability to step away mentally, emotionally, which is probably the most important. And, you know, physically it's good for all of them. I think just clearly the fact that we have a full roster available to practice, you know, shows you the physical benefits of a bye week. But this is a long year, you know, with these men, you know, the challenge of what they go through throughout the season emotionally and mentally, it's a big deal. So I think this is. And I've always done the bye week the same. You know, I've always given the players as much time off as I possibly could, because I do think it's important.
So the reset button has been placed. Mike McCarthy's teams in his career are 11-5 coming out of the bye week. Nate, how much can the bye week help out a team like the Cowboys getting healthy and moving in the right direction?
It did a tremendous job for them, I think, because you lost the linebacker in Leighton Vander Esch. They needed to figure that out and get some guys a little bit of extra work mentally. I know they was off and relaxing, but just get guys ready mentally to go at the loss of those linebackers. Yeah,
it's huge for a team, especially that's dealing with some injuries like you just said, Nate. And when it comes to Mike McCarthy, I got to give him credit. No matter if it's coming off of a bye, like you just said, 11-5 overall, or if it's coming off of a loss. I think since 2021, he's 10-1 or something like that. So he's always had his teams ready to go, and I don't see any change coming this Sunday against the Rams.
The reset in the bye week is necessary. Now, you don't get to control when that bye week comes. I thought it was too soon when the schedule first came out, but barring injuries, barring what's happening with you in the first part of the season, I think it came at a perfect time. Again, they have an opportunity now to get their mind right going into this last half of the season, which is about to get real.
And one of the ways they can continue to work in the right direction is exactly what Nate was talking about a couple moments ago, getting Tony Pollard back in the fold. Where has the home run ball been outside of Globe Life Park in Arlington for the Texas Rangers? They need to find a way to get their home run hitter working again. When we come back, we'll talk about Tony Pollard and how he can be utilized more when we come back.
Special Edition, presented by AT&T, is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas. Reliant, official energy provider of the Dallas Cowboys. Blockchain.com, make your crypto play today. And by AT&T, official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys. This segment is brought to you by the NFL Fan of the Year, presented by Captain Morgan.
I would say just being patient, you know, not trying to force things, just not getting used to the early success, going in for a few plays, getting a big run, coming out, just being used to a different flow of the game and getting used to it.
Tony Pollard has been severely limited over his last 3 games, but the Cowboys have been winning at least 2 of those 3 games along the way, and they'll try and continue to get him back in the fold, as we'll talk about it here on Special Edition. I'll start with you, Isaiah. Whenever it comes to Tony Pollard, what's the best way to get the star tailback back involved?
Just give him the ball. I mean, it's simply put.
Simple enough.
That's all he can do. I mean, this offense was top 10 going into the bye week in amount of touches per game and in amount of yards per game. So, I mean, it doesn't look bad on the stat line, but when you think about how you're used to seeing Tony Pollard and be with these splash plays, he doesn't have the opportunity to get his feet underneath him to even have a chance to get those splash plays.
Yeah, I'm with you 100% on this, Isaiah. I mean, 34 carries in the last 3 games, that's just not enough for a guy as explosive as Tony Pollard is, and he brings too much to this offense. He needs more touches out there, and when you do get him the football, I like to see him use his speed to get around the edge a little bit more instead of running them up in between those tackles, running into a brick wall. But at the end of the day, he has to touch the ball more often, whether that's receiving or rushing.
22 touches a game. I said at the beginning of the year, I kind of changed as the season went on, but I'm back to that. He needs 22 touches a game, whether it's pass or run, I don't care. And add Rico Dowdle into this right here to give him a break. I mean, if you can get 30 touches or 32 touches out of both of these guys, Tony will be back explosive.
Along the same lines, Barry, the Cowboys wide receivers have not been there from a big play standpoint either. It's not a case of too many mouths to feed. You just got to find a way to feed them, right?
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, if we look at it outside of CeeDee Lamb, this wide receiver core has been pretty disappointing. I mean, they're not able to win their one-on-ones on a consistent basis, and something has to change. I don't know if it's the offensive scheme or if these players, Gallup, Cooks, and those guys can't consistently win the one-on-ones, but they've got to be able to do so because teams are going to continue to lock down on CeeDee Lamb and take away his productivity. These guys, these other secondary pieces, they have to step up in the receiver room.
Motions, shifts, and formation changes. You have to be able to mix that up. You can keep the base subject of your offense, but you have to be able to change up how it looks. And then when you do that, you see things like you saw Turpin a couple weeks back make a big play. You see CeeDee Lamb the week before last make some plays. You make things, you give yourself the advantage whenever you do those things. They have to get back to that.
Yeah, and a lot of times you want to play in front of the chains too. Can't be playing behind the chains. The Cowboys currently 6th in the league with 46 penalties. 19 of those have come from pre-snap violations. Nate, how quickly can this be cleaned up?
Just concentration as a player. Know what you have to do. When it's a hard count, a change of play, you got to remember the snap count is first. Without the snap count, you're hurting your team.
Yeah, you got to find a way to limit those penalties. It was a huge conversation 2 years ago. The Cowboys cleaned it up in 2022, but they're right back to it in the top 10 of that category. Cannot allow for that category to get out of hand. When we come back, it'll be an interesting matchup with this Rams bunch. It's not the same Super Bowl champion Rams, but they do have the same quarterback. Matthew Stafford makes his return to Dallas. We'll talk about the matchup at AT&T Stadium right after this.
This segment was brought to you by the NFL Fan of the Year, presented by Captain Morgan. This segment is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas.
Noon at AT&T Stadium, week 8 of the NFL season. The Cowboys and the Rams coming up this weekend. We have Isaiah Stanback, Barry Church, Nate Newton, I'm Kyle Yeomans. First noon game of the year for the Cowboys, one of just 2 on the schedule at the moment. It'll be interesting to see if they're able to wake up and play this Rams team efficiently, especially Barry Church when you're facing Matthew Stafford. You've gotten the chance to see Stafford a couple different times. I mean, what type of challenge does he bring to the table?
Well, I still think, he can make all the throws out there. When you look at a Matt Stafford, he has the arm strength and the arm talent to make every single throw out there, and he looks defenses off, especially the safety position. He'll look you off and make you think something else is happening when it really isn't. So this guy is definitely going to be a task for the defense, but last time they went against him, they were able to get the better of him. 5 sacks, were able to get an interception. If they're able to rattle Stafford once again, that's a big-time advantage for the Dallas Cowboys defense.
Well, they're getting back on track with Matthew Stafford because he has 2 very viable receivers again. He has Cooper Kupp, who's a tried and true, and then he has the surgeons of Puka Nacua, who's their big play threat. So you have you got a little hot and spicy, and you got a little savory underneath. So I mean, when you have those options, I mean, you're obviously going to be in a good position as offense.
He's a homegrown boy, but I do know this right here. When you have the arm that he has and the talent that he has with that arm, he likes to force a few things, and he will get that ball up. So just stay home and cover your guys, and you should be all right.
Nate, Isaiah talked about it a moment ago, and we'll break this down a little bit further in the film room segment next. But Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp are 2 very different wide receivers than the guys have seen so far this season. How will they challenge this Dallas defense?
Well, who do you help? Who do you give that safety help to? Because each one of these guys are special in what they're doing. And so I like both of them, and it will challenge our secondary, our 2 corners.
Yeah, this is a dangerous duo when you look at both of these guys. I mean, they're proven game changers in the game. But if I'm a safety for the Dallas Cowboys, I'm focused on where number 10 is at all times. I mean, this is a guy that has proven to be able to hit you with the big play or consistently move the chains on third down. And when things are tough, Stafford is looking to see where number 10 Cooper Kupp is. So to me, you add Puka Nacua to that situation, and that's a dangerous combination right there. So the secondary for the Dallas Cowboys will have their hands full.
And don't forget about the tight end either. Tyler Higbee, a very reliable tight end. Never going to really do anything over the top. Tutu Atwell, the speedster on the outside. Plenty of weapons, which we'll break down in a little bit. But let's take a look at the defensive side of the football. Isaiah Stanback. Is Aaron Donald still Aaron Donald? Is he still that dude that can wreck a defense?
Listen, he wears number 99 because that's his all-Madden rating, 99. That dude is a complete beast. I don't care what the stat line shows. He has 2.5 sacks so far in the year, but I can't even count how many pressures he has. He is a disruptor, and it shows up in the stat line for other guys, not necessarily for him, but he will mess up everything that you have planned.
Without a doubt. I think he's still a dog. I think he still has that ability along the defensive line to make the game change in the favor of the Rams out there. But the difference between years past and now is that the Rams is basically Aaron Donald or bust right now as far as getting pressure. So if the Dallas Cowboys offense can contain number 99 out there, I feel like Dak Prescott and the boys should have a big day.
I think they have 6 interceptions, and you give them all to Aaron Donald because he is that pressure.
Provide the pressure and ultimately make some mistakes down the field. That's what the Rams will try and do on defense. But when we come back, Isaiah Stanback's going to outline what they'll aim to do on the offensive side by using some of those weapons like Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua when we come back with more Special Edition.
This segment was brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas.
Earlier this month, the Dallas Cowboys doing plenty of good in the community, giving back by building a playground in Dallas. Sam Williams even helping with the efforts. He also helped with the ribbon cutting all the way through. The second-year edge rusher out of Ole Miss, smiling for pictures with everybody afterwards, just continuing the Play 60 initiative through the Dallas Cowboys and, of course, the NFL across the country and here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. Welcome back in this special edition alongside Isaiah Stanback, our resident Super Bowl champion and Emmy Award-winning analyst. I'm Kyle Yeomans. Isaiah, because you're an Emmy Award-winning analyst, we want you to break down what this Rams team does well. Of course, with Cooper Kupp on the IR early in the season, it allowed for the rookie from BYU, Puka Nacua, to shine. But now they get to work together, and it really provides some challenges for opposing defenses.
Absolutely. And Cooper Kupp for the longest was really the lone ranger out there in terms of the guy who's been depended upon to make big plays. I mean, now he is simply a possession guy. Now, that's not the temporary anything that he's possible can do, but he is typically just a possession guy now. Puka Nacua is now their big play guy, 6'2", 210 pounds, big receiver, and he plays with a little attitude. Let's take it to the film room and show you guys exactly how they're doing things differently. So right off the back, okay, we're going to go ahead and highlight Mr. Cooper Kupp, okay? Cooper Kupp is going to be right here. All right, now where is Puka Nacua? Well, Puka Nacua is sitting right in his hip pocket in what we call a condensed set. You're going to see that a lot of times against the Rams because they like to go ahead and make it hard for you to distinguish who you should be sticking. Right on the outside, you're going to have Mr. Tutu Atwell. That is their speed guy. He is Mr. Lightning in a bottle. What are they doing? Well, this is cover 6, and what they're looking for is they want to see exactly what you're going to do in terms of this defense. So you got a man that's playing down there. You have a man who's going to drop back. Okay, you got another man that's going to drop back to this corner, and then they're going to highlight this man right here. This is the man they're trying to isolate in terms of the Rams, okay? And by doing that, they know who the responsibilities are. Let's go ahead and play it through. As you see, you got the motion. You'll see a lot of that pre-snap. Pause it right there. Right off the back, not only do you have a condensed split, but now you have switch releases. Okay, you got Tutu Atwell who's going to come here, and he's going to try to separate this safety. This safety right back here, this man has to make a decision on what he wants to do. Who else do you have? Well, you got Puka Nacua, the gentleman we just talked about, who's their big play guy. He's going to take that man out of it. So now, right off the bat, who do you have in a quandary? Okay, you have this safety in a quandary. You have this cornerback in a quandary. And who are they trying to highlight? Well, they want to highlight this man right here who's responsible for the flat. And how do they do that? Well, Cooper Kupp's going to take a delayed release off the ball. He's going to come up. He has a two-way go. He can go that way or he can go that way. He chooses the interior. Let's go ahead and see it play through. Again, isolate it. Boom, pause it right there. Now he has all of this room to work on the inside where now there's only defender that can do anything against him. is the man right here. So that is exactly what they're trying to do. He has all the space in the world, middle of the field, catches it, easy play for him. First down for the Rams.
So basically, Tutu Atwell working down in that motion made that into a bunch set. So you're now going from defending just a stack set with Puka, Nacua, and Cooper Kupp, which is tough as it is, to really defending a trio. Really, that bunch all the way through provides that eye wash, and defenders are in really a hurry to try and sort all that out. But what happens whenever Nacua goes in motion or Kupp goes in motion? How have the Rams utilized them in that regard?
Well, here you go. Here goes Cooper Kupp right here. Usually not on the outside by himself, okay? He usually has somebody by him. So how do they fix that problem? Well, Puka Nacua is right here at the top of your screen. He is going to come in motion. When he comes in motion, okay, he's going to come all the way down here. I want you to look at it. They have two tight ends sitting here, right? So they have a nice little wing set. But what do they want to do? They want to make sure that Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua are right next to each other. So let's go ahead and play it through to right where these guys are going to be in the hip pocket of each other once again. Let's pause it right here. Right off the back, what is the cover call, okay? Well, the coverage is cover 3. They got a safety back here hanging out, okay? You're going to have a corner sitting here. You got a corner that's responsible here. And these 3 guys are linebackers, okay? These linebackers right here have what? They have the hook, okay? He has the middle. He has the hook. But what happens is when you put pressure on these guys, okay, from Cooper Kupp's standpoint, Cooper Kupp is going to try to split these guys. And he's going to try to make it very difficult for both of these defenders to distinguish who is going to take who. And what does that allow Puka Nacua to do? Puka Nacua is going to come right off his butt like he's playing Canada, go right up the sideline. While these two guys are trying to figure out what the heck to do, he's running right up the sideline and going to take advantage of the difference in space between the safety and the corner. Let's go ahead and see it play out. Comes right off his butt. Okay, boom, perfect right there. We see Cooper Kupp doing what? Again, splitting these two guys, making it hard on him to try to figure out what to do. Puka Nacua is coming up right here. The only man that can get to him is who? You have this safety that can get there, and you have this corner that can get there. But in between those two guys, there is a big spot, and they have a heck of a quarterback with a heck of an arm that can put the ball on the spot. Johnny on the spot. Here it comes. Matthew Stafford drives the ball right in that gap. Pause it there. Here's the window. Here's the Bermuda Triangle that we talk about right here. All you have to do is put it up for him. He's 6'2", 210 pounds. Puts the ball on him, goes up, goes twinkle toes on the sideline, little toe drag swag, makes a big play. That's what they want to do. They want Cooper Kupp working the underneath, isolating against your linebackers or maybe even your nickel backs, and they want Puka Nacua being their big guy to go up there with some attitude and eat cereal off your helmet.
Big-time weapons for this Rams offense, and the Cowboys secondary will have to be on all their P's and Q's to take advantage of it on Sunday. When we come back here on Special Edition, Dak Prescott was a huge key to the Cowboys' Week 6 win. Is he going to be a key to another victory in Week 8?
Special Edition, presented by AT&T, was brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. And by AT&T, official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys.
Special Edition back here from the Star in Frisco. We're just outside these walls. The Cowboys preparing to induct DeMarcus Ware into the Ring of Honor. They are setting up the number outside that will forever live at the headquarters of the Dallas Cowboys, and they will induct him into the Ring of Honor officially during Sunday's matchup with the Rams. What an honor it is for DeMarcus Ware.
Yeah, without a doubt. It couldn't happen to a better player. You know, I was blessed enough to be able to be his teammate for 5 years out there, and it didn't matter. Even though he was the greatest to do it, it didn't matter who you were. First-round pick, undrafted guy, he shared his wisdom with you, so heck of a guy and a heck of an accomplishment, and I'm proud of him for that.
And he was the key to a lot of Cowboys victories. Let's see who's the key to getting the win this time around. Isaiah, I'll start with you.
I'm going to go straight to Tyler Biadasz. Tyler Biadasz, you have to figure out a way to go ahead and lock up on Aaron Donald, because you can please believe he's going to find you. And when he finds you, you can't be scared and say boo.
And that leads me straight to my key. I mean, for me, I'm saying you got to contain 99. I mean, he's the way this Rams defense makes plays out there. If you're able to contain him, I think you can have a big day offensively, but it's going to take more than one person.
I think Coach McCarthy got to outdo Raheem Morris. I really do, because he'll come up with a game plan. This is a very good defensive coordinator.
It should be fun. It's a great matchup. It always is, the Rams and the Cowboys. Cowboys have had the advantage as of late, even with the Rams winning that Super Bowl back in 2020. But still plenty to talk about with these two teams going into it in week number 8 of the NFL season. Noon kickoff on Fox from AT&T Stadium. The Cowboys looking for their 11th straight win at home. For Isaiah Stanback, Barry Church, Nate Newton, I'm Kyle Yeomans. We'll see you next time on Special Edition.